Just in case anybody's wondering, yes, I did intentionally wear yellow to go see Beauty and the Beast to match the color of Belle's dress. The live-action remake of Beauty and the Beast is finally here, after what I felt like was a decent bit of hype after the trailer made its debut, and a lot of people got excited about this, seeing Emma Watson in the role of Belle, and just all around the concept of a live-action Beauty and the Beast movie kind of seemed to make sense. And I know this isn't the only live-action remake of an older movie that Disney has in the works, and I think a lot of people are worried about the idea that these newer movies are just going to be complete retellings of the old movies, and with Beauty and the Beast, in a lot of ways it kind of is, but it adds enough extra depth in other areas such as visuals and character development that I felt like it was definitely worth it and definitely a good time at the theater. If you're familiar with the older animated story of Beauty and the Beast, and if you watch Film Theory, you know that story's kind of a little bit fucked up. Basically, that young bratty prince who was eventually turned into the Beast was like 11 years old when he had that curse put on him. This go around, they fixed that up a little bit to where they established that he was kind of a bratty little prince, more so as an adult, who was sort of using his position to gain all this wealth and all these spoils and pretty much slay, you know, whatever girls he wanted to. Or at least with that last part, I felt it was certainly implied. So we get a little bit of a better telling of the Beast's backstory, but that's not the only backstory that gets improved in this all. Pretty much every major character has a little bit more added to them that makes you understand their struggle and where they're coming from a little bit more. Belle in particular, and with her father, you get an idea of what their past was like and where exactly Belle's mother was, throughout this whole life of hers, and why she's not there as an adult. And I think that added a lot to what they could do together as characters, and I think they capitalized on that pretty well in using that all to weave the story together to make it all just mean that much more. As for the acting performances, I thought they were all very, very solid. I do have to admit that I was a little bit skeptical of Emma Watson playing the role of Belle, and I do have to say that at the very beginning of the movie when she first starts singing, I had this thought of that just sounds a little bit out of place, that she's more of an actress than a singer, but she completely grew into the role, and after the first little bit of the first song, I didn't notice it at all, and it just felt normal and felt like it fit within the character of what Belle should be. I think Emma Watson did a fantastic job. And a quick side note on that Bonjour song, it's really pretty much just an entire town taking a shit on this one particular girl just because she likes to read and seek out information. It's a little bit messed up. Anyway, as good as Emma Watson was in the role of Belle, I felt that the rest of the cast was arguably just as good, if not better, in playing their roles and contributing to these characters to tell this entire story. And again, with that storytelling, they give so much deeper of emotion with all of these characters to show you their backstory, show them how they got to where they are, but also show the progression of the characters as it's happening on screen, to where the entire love story and conflict and struggle of everything going on just feels that much more believable, and to me at least pulled me in a whole lot more than I thought this movie would. And to that same point, I have to say that outside of a decent bit of a lull in the middle of the movie, the rest of it had me really pulled in. I was really invested in these characters and everything that was going on. It was really engaging, and to where even at the end when you see characters coming together or separating, it all just kind of meant that much more because the characters had given you more of a reason to care about them with various things that they'd done throughout the movie, whether it be good or bad. I thought they developed it all throughout the course of the movie really, really good, and it was really entertaining. As for the visuals of this movie, overall, it was very, very good. There were some parts that were just outright fantastic, particularly the opening scene throughout the town. I thought the coordination, the set design, and everything was absolutely gorgeous. On the downside, and I've heard this complaint from some other people, I did feel the CGI was a little bit wonky at times and could have been better. I thought they went with a little bit of an interesting style with the rest of the house members in the castle of all the people that worked there, where their movements were a little bit odd, but it all kind of meshed together stylistically and was consistent with one another, and I didn't necessarily have a problem with that, but some of the other things going on, it felt just a little bit underdeveloped in the CGI department. But really, with just a little bit of the visuals and that lull in the middle of the movie, that is where my complaints about this movie end. I really enjoyed it, and I think it especially says something about a movie when you have 6 dudes that all go to see the movie together, that are all full-grown men, and afterwards every one of them is pumped on the movie over how good it was. Now, I admit that it's been a little while since I've done the Rotten Tomatoes guessing game, and I managed to go into this movie without seeing the score for it. My guess on the way out was that I would have given Beauty and the Beast like an 83%, so I was a little bit shocked to see that it's only rocking a 67 as of Thursday night, which I feel it was definitely a better movie than that. I think the added elements to telling the story of Beauty and the Beast, along with some pretty excellent visuals for the most part, all wrapped up with a lot of really good acting performances, far outweighs that lull in the middle of the movie and any little bits of the CGI being maybe less than it should be in quality. But anyway, that is just my thoughts on Beauty and the Beast. Like I said, I really enjoyed it, and it seemed that everybody else in the theater that I was with also really enjoyed it, whether it was my friends that I was with or just the rest of the crowd around us, except for the guy behind me that literally was snoring for 3/4 of the movie. Not important. What is important is that I want to know what you thought about Beauty and the Beast. Whatever you thought, please feel free to share your comments in the comments section below. If you enjoyed the video, please hit it with the like button. You know I always appreciate that. But above all else, everybody, thank you so much for watching.